Hello, the best viewers! Welcome to Polish Teach English channel. Yes, I'm cutting an old coat. The outraged viewers have already written to me that there is no respect to the fabric. I don't unpick the seams, I just cut. My answer is, for the good products, I choose only the good, whole, strong place without seams, abrasions, holes, and puffs. When sewing a new thing, why do we need the old holes? Cut the squares 15 by 15 centimeters. We will work with them. I also cut out squares of the same size from a padding polyester. Connect them together. Sew along the diagonals. First, one by one, then along the other. Save the threads and time. Sew the whole mass of blanks with a garland. I got 80 squares. From colored fabrics, I cut squares 21 by 21 centimeters. Some fabrics I use were bought in ordinary stores, and some in the online stores. These fabrics are coarse calico, chintz, satin, poplin, and percale. I have been choosing a color palette for a long time. All the fabrics were well heat treated. I soaked them in the hot water with salt and vinegar, then dried and ironed them. For the convenience of work, I arranged all the colored fabrics by color. Many famous fashion designers, when working on their collections, wore white robes so that nothing would distract them, no extraneous colors. And I will work on an unfolded sofa, on a snow-white topper. The process of creativity is in progress, laying out pink, brown, and red fabrics. Then, slowly add more yellow, green, and blue colors. This process can be continued indefinitely, just like repairs. You can't finish, you can only pause. Well, let's work with what happened. As you remember, the size of the colored squares was 21 by 21 centimeters. We put them together, face to face, and stitched them at a distance of 3 centimeters from the edge. Of course, you can mark the seam line on the fabric, but I measured the distance from the needle, 3 centimeters, and with a marker right on the needle plate drew a line. I previously showed a similar sewing method on this channel, but there I collected the canvas a little differently. In today's method, we will first collect long stripes, horizontal rows. Of course, we try to save threads, we don't break anything. We have sewn one detail, we attach another. After we have connected all the rows, we once again check whether everything is right with us. And we proceed to further assembly. In each colored part, you need to insert a piece of drape, and then we turn the edge of the colored part and sew it on. A little tip: when working, we use a small piece of fabric, an adapter. We finish the part so as not to break the threads. Go to it and sew on. For the convenience of work, you can first fix the drape. Sew it in the right place, and then fix it with colored cuffs. The result is double-sided quilted stripes. On the one hand, completely colored, and on the other, with drape inserts. One more thing you can do is to quilt these rows additionally. Of course, you can do some interesting stitch, show all the skill you have. Well, I give you an idea, but myself I just run a straight line down the middle. I collected all the rows on one thread, sewed sequentially so as not to confuse anything. And now we proceed to assembly further. We fold the 2 rows together with colored parts inwards and lay a line along the edge of the drape. And then we unfold the resulting canvas, bend open cuts of colored parts, and sew. This is how 2 rows stitched together look like. It turns out very interesting and unusual. Moreover, on both sides. This is how we sew, and sew gradually increasing the size of the canvas. The most important thing is that the entire mass of this patchwork quilt lies on the left hand on the table, and in the sleeve of the sewing machine there is only one strip 15 centimeters wide. I think that anyone who has worked with large products will understand and appreciate this. After the entire canvas has been sewn, it remains only to process the edges with just a double hem. Well, now you can already evaluate the result. Let me remind you that there were 80 squares of drape 8 by 10 centimeters. The size turned out to be 120 by 150 centimeters. Both sides of this rug or quilt are very interesting. I myself prefer the side with rup inserts. The result is a blend of color and shine. The assembly and sewing technology is simple. If you make a small product, then it will take you very little time. I was sewing a large blanket. The video itself lasts a couple of minutes, but I obviously took much longer to sew and work on it. I gave you an idea, and everything will turn out much better and more interesting for you. I hope you've liked the idea in this video, and please support this channel with the likes and thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon to get the new notifications about the videos, and I'll see you in the next episode.